Hi folks, TS here. For this video I read In a Dark Place by Ed and Lorraine Warren with Carmen Reed, Al Snedeker and Ray Garton. I love reading about the Warrens and the things that they get up to. This book mainly focuses on Carmen and Al as they move into their new Connecticut apartment and their issues with their son Stephen, whose health necessitated their move to the new apartment to save driving 106-mile daily round trips to the hospital for cobalt treatments for cancer. Stephen warns Carmen at the start of the book that the house that they have apartment in is evil, but Carmen and Al refuse to believe their own eyes until it's much too late for Stephen, who appears to become possessed by the evil that resides within the apartment's basement, choosing instead to blame the changes within Stephen on his friendship with a boy who lives down the street who introduces Stephen to heavy metal music. The other children in the household also notice things. The Snedeker's daughter, Stephanie, sees a woman in her room. However, her parents put this down to her being spooked out by the fact that their house used to be a funeral home, something that Carmen had admitted to Stephen, but both Carmen and Al blame Stephen for telling his younger sister, which he promises that he had not done. Once Stephen Brothers Michael comes back from spending summer with his grandmother, he begins to experience some visions such as ghosts and phenomena known as ghost lights, after Al had removed all the light bulbs from the basement where Stephen and Michael shared a room. Al removed the light bulbs due to the high electricity bills, as the boys in the basement were too afraid to sleep in the dark, so they kept on every light that they could. The only person in the Snedeker family who seems not to be affected by the activities in the house is the youngest child, Peter. Even Carmen's nieces, Laura and Mary, who stopped by for a visit while their parents were getting divorced, have issues while in the house. Mary doesn't stay long before moving in with Carmen's other sister due to an incident that involves Stephen being arrested and placed in a mental hospital. The incidents are only worse after Stephen is no longer around to bear the brunt of the attacks and the blame for his parents. Carmen's friend and neighbour, Tanya, refuses to stay long in the house as it makes her feel uncomfortable, and she has seen things moving around in the corners of her eye. It is Tanya who originally suggests that Sneedekers get in touch with the Warrens, back in chapter 18. However, things keep escalating, and it's not until chapter 22 that the Sneedekers are willing to accept that there's something wrong within the house, and they need professional help from the Warrens and their team of researchers, 3 of whom come to stay with the Sneedekers and record everything on video and cassette tapes. With the help of the Warrens, Father George and Father Gary get involved and come to bless the house and perform a Latin Mass, which leads to both of them being harassed night and day by the entities after having left the Snedeker house. Soon, Father Nolan, who's a former Marine, gets involved, as he has been granted permission to perform an exorcism. The story was also filmed as A Haunting in Connecticut starring Virginia Madsen, which I can't comment on as I've not had the opportunity to view it yet. This book should come with some content warnings for demonic activity, hauntings, ghosts, that sort of thing, but also for necrophilia and repeated sexual assault as experienced by Carmen and Laura, and eventually Al and one of the researchers, John, who's also Ed and Lorraine Warren's nephew. It was a good book. I would rate it 4.5 stars out of 5. As always, don't be afraid to say hi in the comments. Click like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.